All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's head over to our screen and start our screen share. Chapter 3 in Foundations was communicating for success. One of the assignments that we left off with were you guys coming up with consultation questions. We got to get ready to have the conversation. We got to learn how to build rapport with our clients, and then find out what's really going on. The thing that really should stick with you should be what the client wants. You can't understand that until you listen to them versus what the client needs. That's where your expertise come in. And we got to be able to communicate what they want versus what they need. And then you both come together and decide what's going to be the best thing for the client. We, in aesthetics, we create what we call protocols and treatment plans, okay? Protocols and treatment plans. And a lot of times those treatment plans are built off of problems that clients have going on. I'm going to tell you now, I am a protocol treatment plan gal, okay? I also consider myself a solutionist, all right? Which means I really cannot start to tell someone about their skin until they tell me what's going on, what they like about their skin, what they don't like about their skin. So I have to have a conversation. It's not like, and I definitely can look at someone's skin and say, hey, this is going on. But I like to go a step further and have a conversation and build that good communication up between myself and that person. And so we're going to do a lot of what we call reflective listening, which is a lot of listening, but then repeating back to the clients to make sure we're on the same page, making sure that there's a level of clarity going forward in our teachings, not only in the teachings, but also in what we plan to do, what we told the clients we could do, and what they paid for. So we want to be able to deliver and sometimes over deliver on that. And that's really builds that communication for success. And I tell people all the time, never thought being a teacher was going to be my thing, but I knew I loved helping people. And it wasn't until a teacher told me that, hey, you're good at helping people. You're good at making sure they understand. And you may be a good teacher. And at that time in my life, having somebody see me in another place, that really meant a lot. So it helped mold me and give me direction. And when the opportunity came, and I signed up on a dare, things just happened to come together. So at that point, was I gonna let not talking and being quiet all my life really stopped me from accomplishing my goals when I was right there at the door? I couldn't. So I had to start talking. I had to start communicating. And it was absolutely, and I had been doing it, but it was a real tight circle. And even though life evolves, there still maintains tight circles, but there's a freedom in conversation. There's a freedom in communicating and listening, and really making sure that what you're saying is effective and that what you're listening to, and you're choosing those key points out to pull out to make great decisions. So let's get started. And you guys have already gotten started. We went through it about halfway. And then I also did a live stream that's on our YouTube that takes us halfway all the way to like client consultation form. Okay. So from the client consultation form is where we'll pick up. I want you guys to give me some questions. Just as a recap, let's do top 10 Let's do the top 10. And I don't think I did this with this class, but top 10 is going to be can be related to anything as a class review. So we talk about consultation and communicating with the client. What are some questions that we're going to ask the client so we can get to know them, their skin, their issues? You need to know a lot of information in a short time to determine if they can get the services that they want versus what they need. Okay, so it's a few of you guys on. Before I jump in and close this chapter out, let's do top 10. So we're looking at 10, and you guys could go into the chat. We're looking at 10 questions that you would ask your client to get a better understanding of who they are, what they do, and what's going on with their skin. Okay? So go ahead and light the chat up. I'm going to stop share for a moment. Go ahead and light the chat up. I need everybody's participation. Good morning, Ashley. Good morning, Justice. Good morning, Raquel. Good morning, Kanisha. Who else is on? Kanisha is joining us. Okay, let me go to the chat. All right, Justice, yes. What's a day-to-day lifestyle and routine? Yeah. What do you do normally? Are you asking that? Are you asking that in relation to their skincare routine? Yeah. Do you have any allergies? Good one, Raquel. Do you have any allergies? Come on, let's get some more. Ashley and Kanisha, let me hear from you. We need 10. We got 8. We got 2 already. 3. What are your medical conditions? Great. Let's get our questions in and we're going to start to break them down a little bit. You know what I'm going to ask? How old are you? Yes. How much sun exposure do they get? Good one. What do you do for work? That's good. Oh, what are you taking on a daily basis? Are you talking about medications? Um, and I'm gonna also ask, what's your water intake? Have you ever had a facial? Okay. Are you here for relaxation? That's good. Yes. As far as food, what's your diet and things like that? What are you eating on a daily basis? Um, here's a funny one. If it's someone coming to me after Valentine's Day, let's say in the month of February, they're coming to me maybe latter February and they have a breakout, I'm going to ask them, how did their Valentine's go? And I'm going to ask them about any new foods that they may have eaten, chocolates, for one. And I will also ask them about their cycle. And then I would ask them, was there a breakup? You're like, what? Yes, because there's a high number of skin breakouts and dermatology visits after Valentine's Day. And a lot of times it comes from stress and overeating sugar, chocolates, and things of that nature. So um, it's a high percentage that one of those has been going on. Um, if they're and if it's something that's not all the time, this is something that just came up, and they're trying to figure out where this is coming from. It probably came from the chocolate, sugar, chocolate, and stress. Okay. And people could say, I'm good all day long. But when we internalize things, it allow our body shows it on the outside. All right. So we got to make sure that we don't internalize stress, and which causes us to be sick. It causes our organs to be sick. It can cause a whole lot of things going on with the body. So we don't want to internalize that at all. But definitely, we want to ask questions about that, because this is where the breakout could be coming from. And the reason why I asked about the cycle, just hormonal balance, hormonal balance. So that's one of the things that I would be nosy about. I would ask about their cycle, spell cycle. Okay, puberty. Um, and I may, if I see them with facial hair, I may ask about family history. Like if I see them with hair loss, facial hair, um, I may ask them about family history as pertaining to that, because it may be hereditary. If I see them, if I look at their nails and their nails are dark, it may be hereditary. If I look at their nails and they have the little white, like a little white speck in their nails, it may be hereditary. So they tell me that's some circulatory issues. So, and remember, I want you guys to always remember, hair, skin, and nails are on the same system. They're in the same system. So when we are talking to our client about what they want to get, this amazing facial, actually we're tuned in to looking at their skin, and we're looking at their hair, just visually. And you may, in your consultation, your analysis, you may ask them, can I see your hands? You're trying to feel the skin of their hands to see if it's dry or moist. You're also looking at their nails. You're looking at the nails are dark or they're pink. You can squeeze them as well. You're looking for any discoloration. And when I look at the hair, I'm looking at if it's dry or moist. Also, I'm taking a look at the scalp as well. All of that helps determine what's really going on in the inside of the body pertaining to that system. So you'll say, oh, didn't sign up to be a hairdresser. You don't have to, because one is going to tell the story for the rest of them. And whenever there's one thing going on, it's going on with all of them. So the skin, if you notice the hair being dry, that may tell you that that may be something going on with the skin as well, and also something going on with the cuticles and nails. It all sends a signal. Let me look at the chat and see what else we got. Okay. You guys can unmute. We can have we're gonna commute for about 5 minutes, conversate for about 5 minutes pertaining to the questions in the chat. Um, and I'm just starting from the bottom. I asked about cycle and puberty, simply because if they're teenagers going through puberty, you can expect certain things. So we're working in a preventive measure, and when we're working preventive, we want them to have start on, you know, a great facial routine, come to you consistently. You know what I did put on there? I accent their athlete as well. So we're gonna build a professional, build a routine where they come and you're taking care of them, so whatever may come up doesn't stay up while they're coming through going through that puberty stage. And I told you I asked her our family history when I see a lady with hair in areas that they don't supposed to be at. Okay. All right. So I'm back. So yeah, based on heredity and ask them, do they usually see women in their family with hair in areas that they don't usually have? That's going to tell me a story about what probably coming up for them. Okay. And how we can build and things that I should be looking for when it comes to the guys. And I'm noticing them having like male pattern baldness or bald early, like in the middle. I'm asking them questions, even though they're getting a facial, I'm asking them questions about the women in their family maybe having hair loss and things of that nature. So that's a trigger. So all the time when you see men with hair loss, it doesn't necessarily mean it comes from the dad. It has a tendency to come from the mother. And then if, she mates or marries or has a child with someone who also has that trait in their family, it's probably going to be some premature balding of the male in the family. So it's a lot for you to check into, but as you're talking to them, your eyes is recording, and so some of the things we can't do until we actually get it in. So your eyes is taking live data of what you see, and then you're putting it with what you know, and so you're taking all that information together to create a plan, a solution for them. Okay, so Raquel had a question. What's your skin goals? Yeah, put that up top. What's the skin goals? And then here's the thing, no one's a magician. You're not a magician. And if they bring you these celebrity pictures, please like edit and alter, baby. It takes a process. And they have the time and the money and for those services that give them driven results. And if your client does not match that lifestyle, time, money, and for those results, their results are gonna take a little longer. Not to say they're not gonna get them. It's just gonna take a little longer. But we definitely want to know what those skin goals are, because throughout their journey with you, you want to reference those goals and make sure that you are hitting them every time. What are your skin goals? Definitely. So Kanisha said that as well. Justice says, are they here for relaxation? Yes. So let me ask you something. When the client comes in, like treatment room is going to be a sector that we go over. But if you guys will walk into a spa and for say you're walking in somewhere for your facial, and you are coming in because you need a moment. You've been working, you need relaxation. Justice, what would you um, what would you expect when you walked in?
What would I expect from
If you're
the
coming in and you're looking for relaxation, what relaxes you?
um like soft music, dim lights, quiet area,
Okay.
you know, soft couches or a soft chair to sit in and stuff like that.
All right. That's amazing because when we get ready to prepare the treatment rooms for the clients, I want you to think like that. I want you to remember how you like to be relaxed. What will relax you when you walked in? And that's exactly what the client would expect as well. You said something that references the senses. You want to make sure that you hit every sense that's going on with the client. They hear. What do they hear? Now, it's not always your music, it is the music that relaxes the client. Sometimes you really can't even trust the music that relaxes the client. My student came in, she had a client come in, and he was, it was a lot of rah rah rap music and just flowing. And he was like, "Man, it was a good patient." I said, Impossible. You never slept. You never relaxed. Your mind was going 1,000 miles a minute. You was rapping. You would never relax." And I told her, I said, "You lost control of that moment. You got to be able to pull that back in." And so, if you have to create policies of no cell phones or cell phones on mute, or say, "Hey, do not change the station. This is going to be, this is the tone, or this is the mellow tone." Clients, some have options for music, some don't. But when you know what your clients like, you can pretty much kind of cater to them as well. So it's that experience that they're looking for. But you have to set the tone with the sound, with the scents. Um, so it has to smell good, has to be relaxing to them, and really be strategic about that sense that you're activating their smell. Because you find something that's also like essential oils that calm the body, that calm the spirit down. So you have lavender, things like that, that's calming, that relaxes. So dropping lavender on your hot towels, um, after they come out the water, you're just putting lavender drops on the hot towels and you're rolling them up and putting them in the steamer. Guess what happened? That lavender is being saturated and the aroma is coming around. When that towel gets on the client, they're going to inhale, exhale. Lavender relaxes, same as calms, but it's also anti-inflammatory, and it's going to take the client just really like so it's something that they use in assistance to relaxing and sleep as well. So it kind of puts that client in that state where you're able to go ahead and do your services without them being a lot of chatty and a lot of chatter. So you got a client that does a lot of talking and you have to tell them to calm down, relax. Try having that lavender. Sometimes even try having something lemon or something orange. And for my students, they love to put something lemon or something orange in the reservoir of the steamer. And it's just pleasant, it's enlightful, it's more positive, and especially if you know your client has a lot of stress. Okay, um, so as far as music, as far as sound, you want it clean. You also want it comfortable. All of that plays a part in their relaxation. You haven't even done the service, but it's how they felt when they walked in. And so you made them feel amazing. You calmed those senses and you got them in a state of relaxation before you even did the service. And do they even remember the service? Quickly going to, here's a question for Ashley. At Ashley put, what are you intaking on a daily basis, such as food? I want you guys to take a note. Chips, sugar, milk, those dairy products can cause breakouts. Okay. And so a lot of times when I have a new client come in, or our students have a new client come in, and y'all, we are client consultation people. I really strive myself on making sure my students know what they're talking about. And so, yes, we stress a lot about, I don't want you to just do the service, because you can fool everybody and do an amazing service and not know what you're doing. So I need to know that you know what you're doing and you know what you're talking about. So when I say, they tell me they want a service, I say, okay, let's talk a little bit about what you got going on. First thing I say, and I'm also visualizing, I'm saying also, what's your water intake? If they're hesitant about the water intake, they're probably not 100% honest about what's coming in, or not, not, they don't have to be a liar or anything, but you can already detect that they're not good at their water intake. Okay. So here's the thing, I always encourage water. Sometimes alkaline water with electrolytes, because it helps um, kill different, bacteria. It help build immune systems, and also it's going to give them energy. But also, the water's being a universal solvent, is going to flush out a lot of things like salt, sugar, and things that they put into their body. And so you want to make sure that they're getting the right amount of water. So we're not doctors, but we need to tell them, increase your water intake. You should go see a physician or a nutritionist. Um, maybe even maybe a nutritional dietitian. Um, and then from there, next I ask about what kind of food they eat. And sometimes I break it all the way down, especially if it's a young lady in her 20s or something, or a young man. I break it all the way down, because I went through it. What's that one snack you have to have? I'm just getting them comfortable, and they tell me what their favorite snack is. So, okay, I said, what's this one thing you got to have when you go to bed? What snacks do you prepare for bed? And we kind of break the ice and have a laugh, a conversation. And that's when they tell me, oh, I got to take a cake to bed, or I got to drink this before I go to bed, coffee or tea, or they tell me, oh, I got to make sure I have my bag of chips and hot fries or whatever, whatever. Once they feel comfortable with you, they start opening up. And I ask them about their snacks, because a lot of skin issues are only temporary, because once you start to relieve or stop ingesting so many other bad things, you it starts to go away. And when I say, I don't want to say every snack and food is bad, because I have my own things that I want to let go. But I definitely tell them, like, some of the things, it's not going to be hard to get you where you need to go. I just need you to lay off the chips for a little while. You don't have to be cold turkey, but say, give yourself a couple of days that you don't eat chips, especially, red chips, blue chips, or whatever, anything that has artificial coloring can cause your skin to be irritated. And so you have to be careful with that. And then on top of that, yeah, pop sodas with fructose syrups. Those syrups are sugars that cause your skin to, um, the texture changes on your skin and can cause breakouts. And then you have things like cheese and milk, which are prone acne causes. So cheese, any dairy, someone telling you they're lactose, or they gotta have cheese like me, like I'm looking for a vegan substitute at this moment, because I'm a cheese person. But I know how to deal with it. I'd rather have my cheese and prepare my skin. I know that's bad for what's to come, but I cut back on the milk, because the milk just sets up mucus, and I just don't like that when it comes time for, health wise. I just don't. I've had to let the milk go, but even the alternative milks are not even good for us. So A lot of it you just have to back, but learn some information about nutrition, whereas you can help your clients help you. Because a lot of the issues that they have is what they're putting into their body, and the body doesn't know what to do with it. Okay, so what would be amazing, I tell my estheticians, is that getting a nutritionist certification or even a medical assistant certification or anything medical on top of aesthetics, it just well rounds you to make you able to offer more to your clients. Okay, just give them more. So I would encourage everybody to also look into um, nutritionist certifications, because aesthetics is one thing, but what we find, especially if we go to a trade show, there are categories such as aesthetics, and then there's aesthetics and wellness. We haven't even jumped into wellness, but aesthetics is pretty much skincare technique, know how. And then wellness is the preserving of holistically the body. Okay. The body, making sure the body can be preserved to make sure the aesthetic part of the body looks well. And so some of you say, I just really got here to do facials and waxing, but it's going to open up a whole nother world. So expanding our knowledge, it's not just skincare, but it's also wellness. They work together. Okay. And you'll learn that as we move into client consultations and things like that. How much skin exposure do they get? This is very important because there's a scale called the Fitzpatrick scale. Okay. You guys will learn about that. Fitzpatrick scale. The Fitzpatrick scale is a determination of everybody in the world, and it puts them into 6 categories. Okay, puts them into 6 categories based on the amount of melanin or no melanin in their skin and the sensitivity to the sun. All right, so sensitivity to the sun and amount of melanin in the skin characterizes everybody in the world. Okay, everybody in the world has a place on the Fitzpatrick scale. That is something from today to the day you hang up and say, I've retired as an esthetician. You're going to see that every day. And it should be in your mind before you even do a client. Where is my client on the Fitzpatrick scale? Okay. A client could be 0, and a 0 would be like albino, no melanin at all, or someone that has very, very, very little melanin. That's a 0. And then you could also be a 6. That's someone that has a large amount of melanin. They have very dark skin. And this individual may be African descent or African Indian Arab descent. Okay. We call these individuals people of color. So you have Fitzpatrick's 0, 1, 2 are going to be Caucasian. Okay, or albino / Caucasian. 0, 1, 2. These are going to be individuals who are also called Europeans who do not have melanin in their skin. Okay, no melanin. The individuals with no melanin have a higher percentage of skin cancers and damage from the sun. All right, so they get a little bit of them going into the sun unprotected there, they can get sunburned. You have 3, and we call these individuals, if you want to take note, I hope you, from this point on, you can educate somebody. Type 3 is called dark Caucasians. Dark Caucasians. And you probably say, what's a dark Caucasian? Someone who's French, someone who's Dutch. Okay. These individuals may be from France, Italian, they have Greek backgrounds. So they're European, but they are now your melanin is being introduced to that race. So they call them dark Caucasians. 4, we start to see, and 3 can also start to be a little Spanish as well. 4, we can start seeing Africans on mixed Africans. So you have African American, so on, so on, so on. So melanin starts to get introduced in 4, 5, and 6. And so now you have Africans, some Asians, some Indians, okay, Arab, Spanish, Puerto Ricans, Mexican, all of that in 3 and 4. 5 and 6, the higher you go, the darker the pigment. Okay, so the higher you go, the darker the melanin. And so, of course, as you add melanin, that melanin is a protector in the skin. So the lighter the skin, the more harmful the sun is to your skin. The darker the skin, the less harmful the sun is. So the whole world uses that chart and puts you into categories based on your skin tone and where you're from. Okay, so when you do that consultation, I need to know that this person is from Ireland. That's some very important information. That tells me that person should always, always, always get tanning and double tanning. It tells me if this person tries to, not tanning and double tanning, but sunblock. If this person tries to go get tanning, that they will not tan. They're just going to burn. They will not tan. And so it's going to be important to know about the exposure to the sun. Okay. And of course, all the elements. What do they do for work? Say, for example, they work in a warehouse. Yeah, oil, sweat, and dirt. And if it's hot, those elements sit on the skin. Plus, whatever's on your hands, you may be touching your skin. A lot of times, it's just a topical bacteria that causes acne. Just like you get the hair at your face, your pimples will start clearing up. So that person needs to be on a new facial routine, never touch the face, and they may have to do cleansings more than, morning, afternoon, and night. When we talk about allergies, I'm allergic to rocephin, which is an antibiotic, and penicillin, which is an antibiotic. If I have that on my tongue, face, wherever it is, it's going to start to swell. Mostly my face, tongue, lips, all of that starts to swell. Well, with that being in my system, it can sit topically on my skin. If I was to go get a wax while that was still in my system, I can just say I'm getting a lip wax. I can go get a lip wax. It looks amazing today, but tomorrow it's going to sting a little bit and it's going to look like the skin was burned. Okay, so it'll have a total discoloration the next day and it'll like the skin was burned. Well, the skin had a chemical on it. And when you put the wax on it, it actually agitated the skin. And so when you pull the strip off or when you pull the wax off, you pull that top layer of skin, more than that top layer of skin off. And so you have to be very careful. Clients that tell you they have Accutane, clients that tell you that they're on Retin-A from a dermatologist's office cannot get wax services. So it's good to know what their what allergies they have and what medications that they have. Somebody else has said medications. So you don't have nothing to do with that. Some people have nut allergies. And so when you buy skincare products that do have nuts in them, you got to know that that's going to be an issue for the client. So we got to study the consultation. Then we got to go back and look and say, this client can only use this, or I have to buy a particular product just for this particular client. Let's take some questions. Okay, lifestyle and routine. I need to know if they get up in the morning, if they wash their face. I need to know if they're always rushing and do they have time for what I'm gonna suggest. What's their night routine? What time you go to bed? They may not be getting enough sleep. That's why they got the dark circles on their eyes. So they might not be eating. That's why they got dark circles on their eyes. They have a lack of vitamin B, vitamin D. Um, and so, yeah, the consultation is going to be very important. And let's take some takeaways from that little lesson as I prepare to share the screen again. You guys can unmute. What did we take away from that lesson? We got to learn something in everything. What did we take away? You can unmute. I need 2 takeaways. Are you there? If you're clocked in and I ask for a takeaway, I need response, because if you don't respond, I'm gonna have to clock you out because I feel like you're not present on the other side. And so
nobody understood the question. Can you repeat it?
I need 2 takeaways from the little lesson we just had. What did you take away from it? Did you learn something from just us talking about the client consultation?
One takeaway.
I learned it's important to have a consultation so you can see what's best to meet your client's needs.
Awesome. That's good. That's good. I got you, Kanisha. Justice, did you were speaking?
Yeah, a takeaway I had was a lot of different things could take into effect of your skin. So it is good to ask certain questions during the consultation, like what are you eating on a regular basis? Are you drinking water? And trying to see like what different foods could have effect to your skin.
Awesome. That is good. That is good. Do you guys feel like you're in it to win it? When I say that, like, yes, it is a lot, but you're learning. And it's good to learn about some new stuff. You're in it?
I am.
Good. So how I want you to be honest with me. How many people, like easy to talk to, you can go up to somebody and say, let me look at your skin. Do I have anybody like that?
Me, I'm like that. I'm big on skin.
You're big. Okay.
Yes, I got like 2, 3 bumps on my face right now, and I'm very upset about it.
How does it look?
It look bad. Like they're the ones that get red and hurt. I think it was my cycle though.
I was about to get there. I was going to say, anybody got a question for her?
When was the last time I cycled? And so yeah, I think that's how it is though.
Okay. So can I talk about that? We all ladies, and this is what I want you to look out for, because your assignment this weekend is going to be about actually finding someone that you can do a client consultation on. Kind of get a little nosy a little bit. Okay, so if a client says, hey, it's probably my cycle, right? This is what I want. As a esthetician, you got to have your calendar, because you got to be in sync with them. You're like, yeah, you got to know when your client cycle is coming. So I would say, do you normally see a breakout days before the cycle? Can you feel that your body is changing before the cycle, or do you normally see a breakout after the cycle? Okay. And the reason you need to know that's going to help determine when they need to come in for you as far as a preventive service, because we're going to work with them. And so if they say, well, I normally start to see breakouts, they say my cycle's always on the second week. I normally start to see breakouts the first week of the month. I know that first week, the client needs to come see me. because I need to make sure that their skin is as clean, and they're having, if they don't follow their routine no other time but prior to the cycle, I need to make sure that on the week of the cycle, and the week that she usually sees breakouts and the week of the cycle, that we minimize that as much as possible. And then we schedule them for the week after the cycle to come in, and we'll ask them, so how did your skin do? And we'll do that until they feel comfortable with us and we have enough data that they've come 3 or 4 times, and start to learn and know the skin. And if someone says, hey, it's afterwards, immediately after the cycle, well, you can say the week of the cycle, they need to come get a facial. But then all that week, they need to have their at-home care, that they are making sure that the skin is clean, you're eating as good as the best you can with what you got, and the hands are clean, and they're not putting anything extra in. So we're just trying to fight against what usually would pop up. And so asking them, even though in the cycle you may have cravings, to reduce as much sugar as possible, as much dairy products as possible, as many snacks as possible. Because most of the time, with young ladies and young men, if we could get them on a cleansing routine, their skin will start to notice that routine and say, oh, it's time to shed dead skin. And it'll start shedding, and not having buildup of dark spots and things of that nature. So we just want to find a routine. And you can get all of that just by asking them questions. And when you don't have to like pry, but every question leads to another question, And so whenever someone says, hey, I have a breakout, I know it may be similar to or around my cycle, we want to ask either before or afterwards, and then we want to ask about snacks and water intake and things of that nature. Y'all got it?
So, Miss Cox, a question. So, what if you have what are you supposed to do when you have a breakout due to your hair? Like, for instance, my forehead break out when it's almost time to go to the beauty shop, like within my 2 weeks. Or if I have braids, I can't keep my braids up no more than 4 to 5 weeks. Due to, for one, I'm natural, and two, it's just like if I put a lot of oil in my hair to keep my scalp. So within like the second week or third week, my forehead is starting to break out due to my hair either too oily or it's becoming dirty.
You answer your own question.
So how?
Okay. The hair draws the elements of the atmosphere. So pretty much oil, sweat, and dirt, and plus whatever's in the air, someone's at work, chemicals and stuff. When the hair draws that, it gets easily and it touches our skin. So I will put you in the category of sensitive skin. Okay, so first off, I would say you got to make sure your hands are clean. If you can keep your hair out of your face, closer to that, you're gonna be. You go to the salon how often?
I try to go every 2 weeks if I get a silk press, but most of the time around this time, the winter, I try to keep braids or
Okay.
sew in.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Class, are y'all taking notes? I just want to make sure. I'm gonna spend about 5 minutes on Miss
Yes, I
Ashley.
am.
Y'all good? I can do that. Okay, Miss Ashley, what oils are you using? Can you name me a few oils that you're using?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
My cousin, she make hair oils. So
What oils? What is it?
I know it has some vitamin E in it. Pretty much, probably I don't know all the ingredients.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking, you need to use oils, and of course, y'all gonna get a product making class. You need to use oils that are non-comedogenic, which means they do not settle on the skin and cause breakouts. Okay.
Okay.
A lot of time people don't know that, they just like use oils And with you, I'm putting you in the category of sensitive skin just because, you always put the first new clients in the category of sensitive skin because you don't know. So, and so if I am putting you in the category of sensitive skin, if you're going to use oils, you got to use oils that are non-comedogenic. Okay.
Okay.
And what that means, they do not clog the pores to cause blackheads, whiteheads, pimples, breakouts.
Okay.
Oils like that are going to have a low number. All oils have a number of how it clogs pores or does not clog pores. So you're looking for numbers 0 to 1. Sometimes it goes up to 4, or 2 is pushing it, but you definitely are not using the 3 and 4. Here's some examples. Actually, shea butter is a 0 and 1. So anything that has a shea butter base can be great to be used on the skin because it is not going to clog the pores and cause breakouts. Also, you got sunflower oil. You got avocado oil.
Okay.
My. I'm gonna have to look in the chart. But those are just a couple of them, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You have argan oil, ARGAN, argan oil. And then you have other oils that have a higher number. Sometimes they're popular, but they may also, it doesn't move about and break down easily. So it sits up in the pore and cause bacteria to sit up and cause breakouts. So for number one, just make sure the oil base is new, it's refreshed. You make sure your oil has a 0 to 1 on the number, and make sure it's non-comedogenic. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah. So I have a student. Most of the time we're gonna make serums, but also I show you how to make scalp oils too. And let me ask you, you put the oil on because you see a dryness or flakiness on the scalp?
I have dry. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How much water do you drink?
I'm not gonna tell no story about me working in the ER. I drink probably more sodas than water, but I do try to take at least a good 16 ounces a day.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you like everybody else. Increase the water intake and just cut back on the fructose syrup in the sodas.
Okay.
Okay. So that can cause the itching and dryness. Okay. Also, if you're writing this down, let's do this. Do 1 part clear shampoo. 1 part clear shampoo.
Okay.
1 part clear shampoo. 1 part anesthetic, like a not an alcohol, but like a sea breeze.
Breeze. Okay, I
Mhm.
clean my scalp with the sea breeze with the braids.
Okay, but what I need you to do, I'm gonna get you to add some buffers to it so it can be conditioning. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So and then 1 part water.
Okay.
So you're gonna mix those 3 together, and you're going to like before you take your hair down, or even before you go for your shampoo for your clients, for when you go get your hair done, you're gonna put that throughout your scalp, kind of let it set. It's gonna start to tingle, and then you go to shampoo after it sets for like 5 or 10 minutes. I will put a bag on and just let it sit, right?
Okay.
And that it's going to be a treatment for your scalp, but you're going to notice that it's going to reduce the drying.
Okay.
And so after that, I would come back with an oil or serum that's non-comedogenic, maybe some sunflower oil mixed with a little vitamin E oil. And if you tell somebody I'm giving you this formula, that's your $1 million ticket. You can give your $1 million away if you want to.
Okay.
Okay. So
could you repeat that last ingredient you told me to
Yeah.
add to that?
Vitamin E and sunflower oil.
No, I'm talking about you said 1 part clear shampoo, 1 part antiseptic, and a buffer. What did you say?
Are you gonna do 1 part water as a universal solvent?
Okay. Okay.
You can add like a drop or two of vitamin E inside because
Okay.
vitamin E is gonna be like hair food. And if you can just put that your oil of your hair food on your scalp before you go to bed, when
Okay.
you're resting, your scalp receives that as food.
Okay.
And vitamin E, if you would even just take the soft gels and squeeze it onto the scalp, that'll be more effective than putting those drops on because the vitamin E, you're getting the actual strength of that oil onto the scalp,
Okay.
directly onto the scalp. So it's nothing else cutting it. You're getting it straight what it needs. And so it's going to cleanse it, but it's going to make it feel dry. Immediately, you're going to come in and do your moisturizer. Okay.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So that's going to be amazing. And you're going to see, you're going to probably you're going to do reduce oil on that, but increase your water intake as well. And make sure those areas are clean on your face.
Okay.
And you may have to come in. Are they red or do you see pus or something in them?
Oh no, ma'am.
Okay, is it itchy?
Sometimes it get itchy.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to keep that hair out your face. And with braids, that's a monocrylic fiber. It's like plastic totes that's been broken down into threads, and we call it braiding hair. So it cleans any dirt, oils, it clings to it. And when it touches the skin, it's just going to cause an irritation. You may be allergic to, you may have to go a little bougie and, go a little bougie with your braid hair and get you a good quality because that lesser quality, it may be just causing you to have actually
Okay.
allergic reaction.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So keep me posted. Let me
Okay.
know how that goes. And if I find that chart, y'all, I'm going to drop that chart because really it's a lot of different oils and stuff out there. And really, you may be the key to your cousin's $1 million product is if she develops something, have one here, but have one also for sensitive skin that's non-comedogenic.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's gonna be good because people can still get the oil that their skin needs, but they don't have to worry about oil breaking out their skin, clogging their pores.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's gonna be good. I'm excited about that.
Thank you.
Hold on one moment. Any questions with that while I go and look at the screen? Questions? Now, y'all, that's my thing. I'm a solutionist. That's what we work on. But let's look at this intake form, and we're not going to be on here long. The client intake form is just like the client consultation form. The same questions we went over will be on the form, okay? You generally also want to have their contact information because you want to, they want to feel special and you want them as clients. So you got to do a little work. You can't expect everybody's just going to look at you and book the link. I hear that all the time. People say book the link. But I want you to call me. I want you to ask how I'm doing because I am giving you my money. Okay. So think about being a little bit more personal. I see that our new president signed something that tells that it's going to be more AI in our business and more AI. We're going to see more artificial intelligence. And so people are not going to want to all the time see robots. Okay. So they want to hear from humans. And so that's how you keep your people close. Get their names, get their addresses, put notes and alarms for their birthdays, things of that nature. So you want to make sure you have all that contact info. And then also some of their general information, some medical stuff. And also, you're going to put a paragraph at the bottom or have a separate release form. That release form is basically going to say they have been truthful. All them questions we asked, that whatever they answered, they are truthful. Okay. If we happen to do something based on those answers and the skin comes out with an issue, that you are covered because you performed the service based on what they answered. So this is their release form. Okay. If you're going to be taking pictures of your clients also, you need to have a photography release form or a social media release form, because we technically are not supposed to be using their photos, okay, without their permission. So you got to make sure that you do that as well. So that's the client intake form. And really it just covers us legally. Okay. So when they first come in, you want to do that, even if we're friends and things like that, let's get the business taken care of first. And then every time they come after that, if nothing has changed, we'll just get them to sign it. Okay. Of course, we have check-in questions. You're going to conduct the client consultation. It needs to be an area that you conduct the client consultation other than the place where you're going to perform the service. All right. So if you're in the suite, take them into a corner and then build that as your consultation area, and then take them over to the bed to prepare their service. In the consultation area, we also talk about, can they afford the service? What budget are they working with? This is where we talk about what they want versus what they need. And then at the end of the day, you can create treatment plans. We can work from the low end of the budget and move up. And so this is where we discuss that. And we discuss, somebody had the question, what do you like about your skin? What are your goals? This is where we discuss all of that. By taking them straight to where you're going to do the service that says, hey, whatever I got to pay her, she going to be good with it. Okay. Preparing for the client consultation. So yes, making sure that we have notes. You need to have your iPad. You want to have pictures of your retail products that you use or some work that you've already done. And also have brochures and things of that nature. Of course, we talked about the consultation. We just hadn't put it in steps. You're going to review, assess the using our eyes, think about the preferences, what they want versus what they need, analyze, okay, prepare to give the best choice with the lifestyle. We're definitely talking about the outdoors, the water, vacation, what they do, show and tell, reflective listening. So you're listening to them, and as they're, when it's time for you to communicate, then you say, okay, well, make sure we're on the same page. You did this to your skin, you did that to your skin. We also look at recommendations. All right. This is where our expertise come in. We have our product brochures. These are the products we use. And if we're going to do this, I want to make sure that you also are doing the same thing I'm doing at home. And so this is where we introduce the upsell, adding other services, and also the products that we're going to use. Just an introduction. Talk about the maintenance, what it's going to take to maintain your skin this way. And then we repeat. We continuously go over this. Concluding the service, we always put the notes of what happened, how did the skin do. Remember, when you're in commission salons, or really no one owns clients. We just are blessed. It's just a blessing for them to come and want us to service them. No one owns clients. People are their own bosses. They can spend their money where they will, but they're going to most of the time spend their money where people who treat them right, okay? And people who are like-minded and who treat them right and give them great experiences. And so that's what we look at in business. It's not about how pretty the place is, but how well am I treating my clients, okay? When we look at tardiness, these are communication barriers. Schedule mix-ups, your overbooking and things of that nature, that causes so many issues. You want to be polite, don't be argumentative, don't be mean, especially if it was your issue. If you were the issue, own up to it, and then let's continue to move forward, okay? You want to seek resolution. We don't want to fight with our clients. We don't want to tell them to take it outside. Getting too personal. Yes, over a period of time, they become family, but you got to remember business is business. And most of you will have families and lifestyles of your own. Okay. And so we never want to cloud friendship and family with business. And so even family and friends professionally, please click the link. Okay. You want to have policy in place. You're not strong enough to tell people no, not this time. I ain't gonna be able to do it. Send them to the link. Okay. Or you need to get you an assistant or administrator that will be able to speak and book and handle the money booking part while you perform the service. But this is not the time for you to just be a softie and just people will try you, but this is a business you're investing in, and this investment should turn over every couple of months. You should be turning over the investment of the education every couple of months. Okay. And so if someone's coming to you, they don't have the money, don't have the service, but they want to get it done, but they get paid Friday, that you start that now, you're always going to have those type of clients. Okay. So you're going to attract literally the client that you want, and you have to go out there and get the client that you want. Okay. I tell people all the time, I was born and raised in South Memphis and some parts of Fraser, but I want to put schools in those areas, but I would not be able to it'll need to be a nonprofit, because I know even from the demographics, the head of household income won't be able to afford certain things. And so I don't want to put myself in a predicament. I don't want to put them in a predicament. I don't want to, strengthen a struggle that they may be going through. And so we definitely have to think about it. So there are people for every price range. All right. And so don't try to service everybody, but go look for your people. So we want to keep it professional. Yes, they will talk to us, but try to remain biased. Okay. Remain neutral. We want to avoid gossip, religion, and politics. And oh my goodness, it's so strong in the city of Memphis. Okay. So those are things that we want to avoid, but keep it positive and good energy and exciting, and have fun with your clients. Okay. Follow guidelines for workplace communication. Of course, you want to work with others. I really pray that the open concept salons and spas, day spas, do come back, because we need to build team. Okay. Solo entrepreneurs are great, but after you have built a team and you know about teamwork, um, and then I had a student said she wanted to go into a suite because she didn't want nobody to tell her what to do. I said, have they already told you what to do? She said, no, but I didn't want nobody. I said, how do you know? You can't live your life on someone else's experience. That's going to halt a whole thinking and opportunities. You don't know. So you never know until you try it. And telling somebody what to do, that's not a leader, that's a boss. And bosses do not have employees who love to work there. Their employees usually hate coming to work. And so we want to have a great environment where leaders build other leaders and everybody enjoys coming to work. Okay, and this is just summary and review. So of our chapter 3, we're preparing to close out. Closing out this part 2, we'll be moving into chapter 4 next week. The study guide for chapter 1 through 4 in 2 forms was left in our private Facebook group. If you go into files, you'll see the study guide that you can save to your computer, laptop, phone, and the answer key is attached. Okay. Also, there's a study guide, there's a digital study guide that you can open up, and you could click it, A, B, C, D. Once you click it, once you're finished, you'll hit submit. When you hit submit, it'll tell you your score. So the score is not going to come back to me. It just tells you the ones you missed and the ones that you got right. Okay. And so you can keep practicing that as much as you want to, because it's just a study guide. And then next week, we'll start going with starting Friday. We'll start going through that study guide and we'll start on chapter 4. So I'm excited about going into our 4th week and saying, whoo, we made it for the month of July. So super excited about all of that. As I prepare to close, the only thing you have to do, I think if you haven't already done chapter 3, questions, and I think we already done that, is find you somebody for a consultation. So, and we're going to jump into chapter 4, start reading chapter 4, and I'll see y'all on Friday. Is all this well? Y'all good?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we want to do consultations on people, and we may even do them with the people we live in the house with. Okay, and so just think about who you can do consultations on this weekend, and I'll see y'all Friday. We'll jump into our next lesson, and we'll start our study guide. We'll start studying for our chapter 1 through 4 evaluation on Friday. Okay, see y'all Friday. Y'all have a blessed one.